Welcome back to this episode of Salesforce for Nonprofit with KJ. In this episode, we're going to be taking a deeper look at donations and opportunities within Salesforce. There are several different ways you can create donations, but generally you want to start at the record it's associated to. For example, if you have a contact who wants to give a new donation, whether that be one-off or recurring, we want to start at that contact's record. From within this org, you can see that there is a button bank in the top right-hand corner, and in here we have several donation options. We've got new donation, new direct debit, or new legacy opportunity. There can be many different types of opportunity quick actions that you might find here, and also from within the drop-down. This is the same for accounts. Let's start with a standard donation. This may be a one-off donation, say a check from a supporter. We can enter the amount, close date. Close date is generally the day the funds are received, so this normally defaults to today. The payment method, the stage, which in this case is received. You may be asked for a primary campaign source. Think of this as where the funds originated from. And finally, you may have an option to send out an acknowledgement letter, and additionally, you can also add a description if necessary. All I need to do now is click Save. There you have it. The opportunity has been created, but unlike some of the other records, you won't be navigated to that record. You'll simply see the green snack bar. We can now see the record that's been created. Heading to My Donations tab, I can see our new donation has been received as of today. If I wanted to open up the record to change any details, I can simply click the name of the donation. Here you can see all the information I already entered, but I can also add additional information if needed by using the edit or pencil. Let's have a look at creating a new recurring donation for this contact. Similar to how we created a one-off donation, I'm going to locate the quick action of new direct debit. Here, a campaign is mandatory. We need to specify the amount, how often the direct debit is taken. In this case, it's defaulting to monthly, but there are other options as well. The payment method is default to direct debit and the day of the month that this should be collected. We can also put in things like account number and sort code. In some orgs, this may not be available on this screen. We then have two date fields. The established date is the day that we received notification of the direct debit, so the donor wants to set it up today. However, the effective date is when this direct debit should actually take effect. So normally this is at least 2 weeks in the future, but there could be various rules on how your organisation processes these. I'm going to leave mine as is. Again, we have the snack bar to say that this has been successfully created. If I wanted to view the opportunity, I could go ahead and do that here, or I can go and find the recurring donation. There are two different objects here. We have opportunities and recurring donations. The recurring donation record specifies the schedule of the recurring donation, whereas the opportunity represents the actual payment for that donation schedule. So further down the record, we can see up and coming instalments for this recurring donation. From within your recurring donation, you'll also find buttons like upgrade, downgrade, pause, and change bank details. These all do exactly what they say on the tin. So if the donor wanted to upgrade, say to £15 a month, they could use the upgrade button, or indeed they could use the downgrade button if they wished to make their donation less per month. If the donor was going on holiday, they may want to have a pause in their donation schedule. And of course, if they needed to update their bank details, this could also be done here. The final thing we're going to look at in today's video is how this works for a corporate donation. I need to find the account that this corporate donation is going to be associated to. Once located, again, I have a quick action to capture any corporate donations. You can see most of the fields are mandatory, but they're already pre-populated. However, this does not mean I can't change them if necessary. But in this case, I'm simply going to enter the value, then click Save. We'll now see our £1,000 donation from this organisation in the system. To get an overview of all your donations, you can use the Opportunities tab, which is how, of course, we created our accounts and contacts. You might find various list views within the system. These can be created by your admin, which we'll be covering in a later session. The reason this can be useful is because you can change the view to help you manage larger opportunities like major gifts. Using the display option, I can select Kanban view. This gives me an overview of all my opportunities that I have entered into the system, split by record type. The major donations normally have a longer cultivation cycle, and therefore you can see the stages along the top. You can also interact with these donations from this screen. Thanks for joining me in this episode of Salesforce for Nonprofit with KJ. I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks, guys.